Hey guys, Ian here. Welcome back to ProduceFaster.com. Hey, so I wanted to spend a little time. I play a lot of piano, but we haven't done much with guitars lately. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's wanting to pick the guitar back up, specifically the acoustic guitar. And sometimes I take for granted that some of these things that I know that make things very simple for me. And I thought I would pass it on to you because as I was explaining it to him, he actually got really excited and wanted to go pick up the guitar again. So I'm just going to share a couple of quick things with you. I realize that especially, strumming and all that kind of stuff, it can be very intimidating, but maybe some of these things will help you to have a little freedom when you're learning to play, specifically acoustic guitar. We're not going to do any shredding today. I don't even know if I can do that. That's for other people. But so what we're going to talk about specifically is using a capo. If you don't know what a capo is, this is it right here. And what we use the capo for, the simplest way I could put it is just to change key. And without getting too deep, I have plenty of other videos you can go back and watch and learn a little bit of music theory, but I'll recap just a little bit so that this will make more sense, okay? Here's how this works. If you're looking at the piano, there is this thing we call the chromatic scale. And the chromatic scale is just every note. Up and down the scale, high to low, low to high. It's every note. That's all it is. On a guitar, each of these frets is one note, and it goes up and down the chromatic scale. And so what we do is by putting this capo on here, I have suddenly tightened the tuning. I have raised the tuning up by however many frets I've put this on. And so basically, instead of this being the top of the guitar, wherever I put the capo becomes where I'm going to use as a reference to start my chords. And so what I was explaining to my friend is he doesn't need to learn E flat and F sharp and G minor chords. He needs to learn basically 8 chords that are contained within 2 keys. And if you can memorize those, if you can learn those, then you can play any song in any key. And this is not, it's technically cheating, but this is what professionals do. I've been doing this a long time. I have many friends that are professional songwriters and they're out recording artists, touring all over the place. If I mentioned some of the names, you'd recognize them. But these guys, they're not out there playing those weird chords. A lot of them don't even know how. They just know how to use their capo. And it still sounds great. It's simpler. You don't have to think very hard. So I actually included a worksheet that you can download that has all of the chords you're going to want to learn. I've got the tabs on there so you can learn where to put your fingers. And then what you're going to do is you just memorize these 2 keys, which again consists of 8 chords because some of those chords overlap. And then you're just going to do some practice on it. And I've been teaching music a long time. I am not a fan of making you practice for hours on end. I don't think it's effective. I don't think there's any point to it. It might be effective if you really have the time and desire to do that. But what I have my students do is 3 sets of 1-minute practice sessions. So they take something that they are trying to do and they practice that for 1 minute 3 times. And they call it a day. So we're talking about 3 minutes of practice. And what I mean by that is if you have a hard time, like you could play a G chord, but you're having a hard time switching over to D, then you would set the timer for 1 minute and all you would do is sit here and go as fast as you could for 1 minute. And what will happen is the more you do that, the more it becomes natural to your fingers and to everything to just switch back and forth. And when it becomes natural, then it's easy to play. And you can play songs and switch. That's one way. The other thing that people struggle with is strumming. Some of us have a natural ability to just kind of to do that kind of stuff. Some people don't. And you can still learn, even if maybe it'll take you a little longer. And this is kind of a silly thing. I don't even know if it's recommended by professionals. It's just a ridiculous thing that I made up that I have my students do when they're learning to strum. And what happened was I realized that when I'm playing, my rhythm hand never stops moving. It's keeping time with the song, right? So a lot of people that are trying to play syncopated rhythms will stop moving their hand. There's no way it's really hard to try and do stuff like that. And because what I'm playing isn't all that complicated in terms of what I'm doing with my rhythm hand, because it's just keeping time. The complication comes from me just learning to hit the strings and not hit the strings at different points. But the root of it is learning to keep time. And so what I had my students start doing, you can get on Amazon or go to your local music store, and you can buy these for like $8. You can buy a pack of like 3 or 4 of them for $8. It's just an egg shaker. Drummers use them, okay? And what I have them do is take a metronome. You can get it as an app on your phone if you don't have one. Set it for a tempo. Take a couple of chords. This is not important what chords you're playing. Take 3 or 4 chords, maybe just take 2 chords, and get used to so what you're getting is a little bit of feedback on how well you're keeping time. And you'll know right away if you've stopped moving your hand, right? And again, this is the kind of thing that you're only going to do for a couple of minutes, not, set the timer for 1 minute, do it like 3 times, and you're just going to eventually start to develop an ability to stay on time and to start doing some syncopated things. I don't recommend anything complicated at first. Just do it very simple. In fact, my mantra is that, it's way better for you to be good at something simple than to try something that's not simple and look stupid. So start with a little bit, start to grow, and you'll really have fun with what you're doing. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope you enjoy the videos. If you do, share them with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.